Hey guys, so I thought what I'd do today is just show you this Time Crisis PCB which I picked up off eBay. And I got it for a pretty decent price because it was untested, and when I got it, sure enough, it did have a bad RAM on it. Well, it said it had a bad RAM, but actually it had some of the pins were lifted on the graphics PCB on one of the graphics processors, so I just reflowed the pins to that and it all fired up and worked pretty much perfectly. One of the things that I was kind of worried about with this PCB, because you can't really find any sort of reference to it online of anyone converting it to JAMMA or anything like that. But it turns out, because I thought this was a medium res PCB, so it would only work on like a 24 kilohertz monitor. Turns out it actually is low resolution and it's just interlaced, so that was fine. Luckily it came with all the wiring, it came with the amp PCB as well as the gun filter PCB, which was really lucky. Had all this wiring here. Unfortunately the connector over here, which is the video connector, that was really sort of beaten up, and it was actually at sort of this kind of an angle, so someone had ripped that out. I've got to reflow that at some point and straighten the pins out, because the picture kind of jumps now and again if you move the wire, so that's not a massive problem. But yeah, here's the amplifier board. From what I can tell, it actually is supposed to sit here on this board, which is nice and convenient. This one actually should sit in the cabinet somewhere, but I've just temporarily sort of attached it to the top of this, and it's pretty sturdy, it's not going anywhere. But yeah, I've got it all kind of wired up to JAMMA, and I thought it might be interesting for excuse me, it might be interesting for anyone who's, you know, kind of wanted a Time Crisis PCB and, you know, wasn't really sure if they could wire it up. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking for one of these for like 10 years or more, and two actually popped up on eBay at once, so, you know, it's sod's law, I suppose. But yeah, I've got this one all sort of running and working. One thing you do want to make sure when you get these PCBs is that you get the wiring with it as well. Basically just because it uses these Namco sort of Molex connectors, and I'm not sure if they actually are Molex connectors. I think they might be JST or something, I don't know. But yeah, it made my life a whole lot easier. I actually got it wired up in sort of, I don't know, a couple of hours. So yeah, I got it hooked up to my JAMMA connector there. And I've got the stereo output hooked up to the cabinet as well. This big fan on the back here is actually an AC fan, so you can't run that off of JAMMA. But what I've done is I've put a little switch in line with it so I can turn it on and off when I need to. You do want this fan running though with the PCB, because I hear that one of the main problems with Time Crisis boards is the graphics board overheats, and it stops it from functioning. But it's pretty easy to actually get inside and service this. You got this lead here which is for the sync. It's pretty much actually like the way it's hooked up on the PlayStation. You've got like the Namco gun here, and you've got to have a connection between the gun and the monitor so that it knows what the sync's doing and all the rest of that. So that's what that lead there's for. But if you take this panel off here, you've got like a stack of PCBs. I think it's like 4 or 5 PCBs in there, and they've just got little clips either side, and they just pull out and plug into the main I/O board at the end here. But yeah, it's surprisingly easy actually to get this hooked up. I did actually have this hat pedal spare. I've put like some rubber sort of mat things on the bottom so it doesn't slip around, and this actually was a analog pedal which won't work with Time Crisis. So what I've done, it's a bit ghetto and you probably can't see it in there, you might be able to, I don't know, but I've glued a micro switch in there with like one of those like angled arms that sort of goes down like that. It works perfectly, it's all in there nice and solid, it's not going anywhere, so quite pleased with that. But yeah, I mean, this is, if you're a fan of Time Crisis and you wanted a PCB, it really isn't that difficult to hook up, so I'd definitely say give it a go. You will need a copy of the manual. I'll put a link down here to the manual where I found it. But if if the link ever dies, just drop me a message and I'll send over a copy of the manual that I've saved. Because yeah, it doesn't seem to be sort of all that easy to find. Namco, for some reason, have got quite a nice list of their service manuals on their website, but not Time Crisis 1. Bit strange, but what I'll just do then, I'll just flick it on. That's just the fan. It's quite loud. And flick the cabinet on. Loud pop.
There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel, the daughter of the president of Serbia.
And there it is.
Get into the castle and rescue Rachel.
I was actually blown away about how much better than the PlayStation version it looks. I remember it looking better than the PlayStation version when I played it in the arcade, but wow. The difference is huge.
She must be dead by now.
Oh, and also with the gun, obviously it had recoil on it. What I've actually got is just like a normal 19 volt DC adapter for a laptop that I've just plugged in, and that works great with it. If you're stuck for a power supply, just use one of those if you've got one lying around. But these really should have like a 4 amp 24 volt power source for them. But yeah, it works just fine on 19 volt. I probably will replace it eventually, but not for the foreseeable future. There's actually some nice mounting holes here which I could just sort of mount one to and then just run it off the same AC as this. But what I'll do is I'll just pop this in here and I'll just give you an idea of how it plays. I'm fairly sure most people have probably seen Time Crisis before, but I figure why not if I've got it all set up. Chuck a couple of coins in and go for a time game, I think. Go for stage 1. Can't get first no matter what I do on this.
Action! Action! Reload.
I'll say one thing about this board actually, it does need quite a bit of power.
Action!
The screen's kind of dark in the dark scenes. It should be a bit brighter than this. It's just because there's not quite enough ampage on the board to power it. Hate the red guys.
Action!
Boom. I see fourth. Sucks.
Action!
That's actually another interesting thing about this game. I didn't realise it saves your high scores as well, which is kind of cool.
Danger! Reload!
You can actually go into the test menu and initialise the high scores as well if you want to start again from scratch.
Reload!
And I'm usually much better than this, I promise.
Action! Action! Action!
See if we can get past the first level. Oh, it's a time game anyway, so it doesn't, I'm not going to get past the first level, but we'll see if we can finish the first level.
Action!
Oh, this brings back memories now. Every time I went to the arcades, I had to shove a quid into this one. Damn it.
Reload!
although not holding the camera, it's actually still kind of difficult to talk and play this at the same time. Oh, you little blue hat. Yeah. Action. Got to know these little tricks to be able to get good times. Just when you haven't quite hidden long enough and it doesn't reload, that really sucks. You know you've blown your time in. Yeah. And I got 8. I think it's ain't too bad, I suppose. Could be worse. That's me. So I did get second at one point. But yeah, so there you go, that's Time Crisis. And yeah, let's pull this up here. Easily one of my favourite games in the arcades. And yeah, so if you want to hook one up to JAMMA, that's pretty much all you got to do. You've got all your connections here that you need. You can actually, if you want to, just hook the sound directly up to JAMMA. It's got a setting in the BIOS, or in the setup menu rather, where you can just tell it to output mono only, I think. I'm pretty sure it does anyway. Actually, let's just have a little check. Got the service switch hooked up on here, because it has to be on constantly. Yeah, because I could have hooked up the test switch in there, but it's just a push button, whereas this on here is like a toggle switch, which it needs to be. Let's just go down the menu here and just have a quick look. Game options. Sound in a track mode. I could have been lying actually, it might just be stereo only. Sound test, is it in there? No. Okay, or maybe you can't. But you can probably work out some way of mixing the stereo channels together to make mono. It's unamplified before it gets to here. So I don't know, whatever you want to do, but it's pretty simple to hook it up if you've got all the wiring and stuff. So you know, I don't know if there's like a trashed cabinet but the board works, then maybe you can just sort of salvage parts from it and just keep it for your JAMMA setup. But I'm really pleased with it, and yeah, I guess just keep an eye out. But yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I just wanted to say before I go, thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. I hit 500 subscribers the other day, and that was just like really cool. Been on here for like on YouTube for a couple of years now, and you know, it's just nice to hit the milestones. So thanks guys for that. And I know I promised a while ago that I was going to be doing some board repairs, but I got a massive job lot of boards, but most of them just worked, so that kind of, you know, curtailed that unfortunately. But I do have a few more boards on the way, and I'm pretty sure they do need fixing, so if I can make a video out of them, then I'll be uploading something else soon. So I will try and upload something else soon anyway. I've got another project here which I have been putting off showing you guys for a while, and it looks a bit of a state at the moment, but yeah, I kind of got this for actually this whole cabinet I got for free, basically because I was doing a repair for someone and they had one of these, and I said, look, if you give me that, then I'll just do the repair and that, we'll call it quits. And they said, yep, fine, no problem. It didn't have a board with it when I got it. It was actually a Sega touring car, But yeah, God, it was in such a state when I got it. It had like the you can see this is missing here. That was just like covered in gunk and glue, and the base had all cigarettes in it, and it was all rusty, and it still is kind of rusty in places. But yeah, it took a lot of work to get it like to this point. But enough of that. I'll show you another day. But yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it for now. If you haven't subscribed already, then hit subscribe. Feel free to comment and rate, and we'll see you guys later.